Yeah, do companies recruit foreigners who can't speak in Korean? Yeah, a lot of people ask that questions.
All right, before I get started, I have to say this is my personal opinion. I'm not representing the whole, so just take my comments as my opinion, my opinion as well. Yes, the answer is yes and no, but I would just tell you the yes cases here in Korea just based on my experience. And like I said, I might be a little bit prejudiced or biased because I'm mostly from the industry or tech field. So if this is not your industry of your interest, then this might not be the right answers for your questions. But yes, the most frequently hired positions who can't speak Korean here in Korea, I can say there are 4 categories mostly. So number 1 could be C-suite positions, CEO, CFO, or CXO. So these are multinational, as you know. But we're not interested in this position now, so I'm going to pass. And number 2 is engineers or someone who could have the special knowledge or skills, let's say. So in our case, mostly it's engineers, and as you know, recently Korea market really running short of the software engineer or any kind of blah 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 engineer. So if you are really interested, then if you are having this engineering background, it's going to be a big plus. And number 3, there could be a internship or talent exchange programs. I can say, also based on my experiences, I'm working for those. Microsoft or any other multinational companies, they have great talent exchange programs as starting as the interns, for example. And as far as I'm concerned, there are many international internship programs, LG Electronics, Samsung Electronics, for example. And in our cases, we have a great talent exchange program called more engineering graduate programs or commercial exchange program, for example. These talent exchange programs actually provide 3 6-month assignment for those chosen people, let's say. So you can actually work for 3 countries for 3 different assignments. But in this case, you have to be really competitive to beat all the other candidates. And this is not coming every year. I mean, so it could be like biannual project or some annual or biannual projects, and you need to be really, really smart and competent. But still, there are many programs, HQ-wide and the regional-wide. So as I understand, an ASEAN region, including Korea, there are quite some of those programs running around. So, or on the other hand, you might be applying for those multinational companies of your own countries that have trade relationships with Korea, or Korea have Korean companies are having the big presences. So you could be hired the local interns and then dispatched to Korea, for example. In this case, you can be really good candidates for foreigners working for Korea who can't speak Korean. Also, in case you are the registered students in some of those Korean universities, then you could apply for the short-time internships for vacation, for example. So to begin with the internship, then you could prove yourself, and then you could get more opportunities to get inside the businesses. So that is my experiences. Also, number 4, each country have their own embassies or chamber of commerce here in Korea. I'm pretty sure because most of your countries are having your embassies here in Korea and the Chamber of Commerce. So they are also providing a lot of opportunities for entry-level positions, or they might be introducing great opportunities in the countries having business in Korea. So these 4 categories, I have to say.
Yeah, that's the case of the big multinational companies, and I will talk about startups or small or medium-sized companies. Yes, well, those kind of companies are getting more and more have needs to hire foreigners, well, non-Koreans now, because a lot of even the small companies who like to be exposed and like to make a global business nowadays. But to find the right person in Korea, it's not easy especially for like a small companies, because the people who can command a very good English and have good ability, then they actually prefer working in a big company or multinational companies like her company. So in the position of the small companies, it's very hard to find the right person, like a good person to make like an international business. So in that case, instead of the Korean people, the companies like to find the right person in the outside of Korea or the non-Korean person in Korea. But in that case, we are finding, of course, prefer finding person who can speak very good Korean and English both, because especially the people in like more than 40s or 50s, for example, like a senior levels, they wouldn't really like to speak in English. Except some people, because a lot of Koreans, the seniors can't really speak very good English. Younger generations will have much more people who can command a better English, but still in Korea, not many people can speak English. So they absolutely prefer hiring who can speak very good Korean, at least in the business level. So, I can also talk about in my company cases. We hired 2 non-Korean employees, Divya and Christina. When we hired them, I can say that Christina's Korean level is in the business level, and Divya's Korean is a little bit lower than the business level. But we thought that they all have like a good ability, to improve their working skills and the Korean skills, especially in the case of Divya. She showed us a very good strong will to improve her Korean, and we could believe that her intellectual ability can chase and develop her Korean skills. So that's why we finally decided to hire her. And as we expected, her Korean improved a lot just within a year. So we are satisfied her also the language skill. But anyway, we got a time to hesitate to hire her, because the CTO of our company, he couldn't really speak in English well, so he hesitated a bit in that point. Mm-hmm. But except that we were satisfied to hire her. We were all agreed to hire her. So she's working here now. Yeah. So the answer for the question 1 is yes and no, but absolutely better to be ready for the a business level Korean.